natural. It's happening. And it's happening with them first, but not here. We don't care about the colored people, but it's happening with Euros first. And a few Negroes we lose to sissyism or whatever, and hey, you know, collateral damage. I don't know. Of course, I wouldn't say nothing like that. But you don't have to worry. The world is in transformation. It's always in transformation. But right now, the big chunks are falling, and you don't have time to fix up. You can't lie about the climate anymore. You know, it just got, this is the East Coast, and this is almost February. There's snow, there's nothing. I think we were like 2 drops of snow the other night, some night. When I come here, I'm sure when you come here, I remember 1990, it was so cold in January. That was when I was going on one of the trips. And I had a hot cup of coffee, and I set it on right on the car before, and then I opened the door, you know, and forgot or something. Before I was getting ready to go on a trip, a hot cup of coffee, steaming. Look, that coffee hit that window, and it froze before it hit the panel. It froze halfway down. That was on January. No, not January. That was December, somewhere in the 20s, 1989. And then when we got back, the sun popped up, and then the flowers was all out, and then all of a sudden, April 19th, here come snow that lasted for, I don't know how long, but all the little buds on the trees was blooding. It was 80 degrees. I was running down the woods in Virginia, and man, and after that, it didn't clear, the weather didn't clear up till way up in June or something. And the next year, it was the same thing. We was up there on 8th Street. Remember sometime you couldn't walk up on that ice? Ice way up. The weather was different even then. And that was just 30 years ago. The weather was different. You couldn't drive up on 8th Street like where you are. You couldn't. You'd have to just park somewhere on Lake Dua, and then just, you couldn't park, you couldn't get the car up there.
Oh man, I can imagine.
You couldn't get the car up there, and you couldn't do nothing. You just sit up there, and every now and then at Juma, we'd have Juma, and then we said we had, so I'd stay there and pray by myself. Somebody would come by, and then it'd take an hour for them to get up them steps. Because that stuff, it would snow, then it would rain, and then it would freeze all that together. You couldn't get up those stairs, you just couldn't. There ain't no way in the world you could get one step up, then you slide down. And you have to hold your hands out because you slide, you can't stop because the top of the ground, remember? The top of the ground was just ice on top of snow. And then it might go through that for several days. And sometimes to go to the store, man, you have to be, and I'd be rolling up there, you know. Sometime I'd make it. The point is, there's a difference between then and now. That's only 30 years ago. That's only in the 90s, late 80s and early 90s. That's only a few years ago. There's no reason for this is the first day it's going to snow here, and it's doggone in January. If it don't snow quickly, like it say it will, it'll be too late. You know, the whole year will be gone without snow. You used to get snow all the time. People be fighting each other because they dig out a parking space, then you come and zoop right in there. They be, "You're gonna get out of my space, man. I just dug all that." Right? That's the way people did. Okay. this right now is what, this is up in 24. Hey, we got another week, one more week for January. And the next month is February. After that is spring. So it's going, whatever it's going to do, it's going to have to hurry up and do it. I'm saying this, is that things have already changed. And this last few years have been just, for the earth, unbelievable. If we don't get in there quick enough, this thing could go beyond the point of no return. You know, if you're on a journey, if you got to go to Europe, it's 3,000 miles away. If you go out 1,000 miles, you can turn around and come back. But if you go out 1,500 miles, there's no sense of coming back this way. It's the same distance coming back as it is keeping going, right? So, the way the earth is right now, it needs somebody to intermix with this thing. If the fish is starving to death because they eating all the stuff they see, they say, man, I'm full. But there ain't no nutrient. The fish don't know why they dying with a belly full of plastic. Even the camels is eating all them plastic bags hanging on the trees over in the desert. Man, they got a lump of plastic, that big lump on their back. They got lumps of plastic now inside of them. Big lumps of plastic, because it don't digest. Because they just, oh, look at this stuff hanging on the tree. You think it's just something. And eat it, and eat it, and eat it, and eat it. And what about us? It's not only the fish, it's everything. We have a certain amount of time to fix this. Let them go ahead talking out the side of their mouth. Yeah, we're going to fix everything. Good. You better fix it. It's your last fix. The last fix for your kids. It ain't like we have to fix it for our children. You have to fix it for yourself, dummy. Right? Because this stuff is right around the corner. That's what the sign says. Around this corner is disaster. Around that corner is degradation. Around all these corners, anywhere you go, if you don't straighten up this block now, you're in trouble. That's what it says. The sign says it, everything. Now, we'll try to stay on track here. So by this universal criterion, how are we doing? Believe it or not, we're not doing too bad. We're not doing too bad. I mean, we're not up to par, but we're not doing too bad. Number one, we got the whole government against us. That means the federal government, the state government, and the local government in Oakland. All of them are against us. At least they're acting like it, you know. They're not fixing nothing, so, you know. But we can't tell that they ain't trying to get rid of us, because that's what they're doing. It looks like, well, you have to say a couple of words and get a this, that. I ain't doing nothing. They can come by and find we had them, I said, do what they want to make a treaty, they have to come by. We're not looking, those are the past. That was last year, 2 years ago. There's no, you want a treaty, you got to come by and fix it. We're not looking for anybody to do, we're not going to do anything illegal or try to harm anybody. Let's make that, we just, you want to act a fool? Go ahead. You can't stop me. I'm not going to try to stop you. If you ain't got enough sense to know that you got a gun, your own gun, pointed at your own head, well, pull the trigger at your bad self. Yeah. Maybe we need to urge them on so that smoke gets so bad and everything. We gotta fix it. Only thing is, will that be too late? You know, momentum things become, you go out past the point of no return, you can't get back. There's too much plastic in the ocean. It's already too much plastic in the ocean. It's been there so long that it's broke down to little micro, you can't even see it. But this little, all the stuff you thought was little micro animals is not micro animals, little microplastics. It's covered all the thing, and the animals, the fish, they don't know better. It looks like something to eat there, so they eat it. This is nice. And, so you cut open any fish now, and there's a whole belly full of plastic. They don't digest. Okay, that's the reality that we have. Let me see. We're only responsible, we're going to try to increase our responsibility. That means we're going to try to improve the amount of good that we can do. But I'm here building my roof on Nine Munker and joining the right, we're going to do almost as much as that as we can. When we get the ability to forbid the wrong, we're going to try to do that too. But right now, it's only the ability to do good. That's all what we have. We don't have nothing else. We can't stop nobody from doing wrong. If we go try to stop somebody from doing wrong, they'll put us in jail. You can't stop nobody. You're not authority. Right? But see, again, we're hopeful. No, we're hopeful about all of this because to us it sounds like this is a new spot. This is not a new spot. Every period in history, that's what the Quran and biblical also is talking about. All those stages when everything was lost, right? Yeah. Well, we happen to believe that they had stages for then when all would be lost. But now we're at another stage when if we don't make the right moves, this thing is a goner. Yeah, we make the right moves, well, this thing is a goner. Okay. If you notice, the trends are headed in our way. It's not just, first people talk about the truth, then they separate between the people who want to do something about the truth and then the people that don't want to do something about it. They're not against the truth, they're just either lazy or they don't settle. Now, this good doing crew, the people are saying the oceans. Whoever thought that you could pollute the ocean? That way it can't clean itself up. The whole ocean, all of them. You'll find a few spots where it's clear and pristine. But you go out there where the ocean is 12 miles deep, all that stuff that drifted over there, and you can just run around with a big scraper and scrape stuff off of the top of the ocean and as far as you could go down. And it's been out there, there's spots in the ocean where these things have been occurring for years and years. Okay. So we're going to do what we can. Make sense of the last 55 years in court, so we'll skip that for now. To try to make sense of those last years. Mode of reality, us, ascendancy, then decline. Okay, yeah. So this reality that we're living in, this reality that we're living in, that we're perceiving, we have no choice but to do all that we can to rescue the planet, re-regulate the, restart the button, you know what I mean? Clean it up, right? Because the earth is a living organism. a natural belief that either the human being gonna clean this thing up, or he's gonna be a goner. And all that artificial intelligence they talk about, you know, that stuff is right around the corner. So all those are things we have to, artificial intelligence, used to take a nigga 50 years to learn anything, and now these things you can zoom, right? And they fully juiced up, and they got ones that learn now. You know, like the ones that play chess. The first time, that old chess playing machine that was big as a house, back in the 50s, they couldn't win hardly no chess games. But now, the new last year, last year, they plugged this guy up and all he did was played one game of chess, he lost that. But then he did his research and he never lost the game after that. That's right now. Yeah. So it means artificial intelligence, you can program a box to have all that sense, right? And once it gets the tools and the fingers and everything, he gonna produce some of his own homeboys that they fix each other just so cause you program, oh, they can't do this, you know, right? And you got 500, 600 of them running around. Pretty soon, they're gonna say, what's their problem? We can't fix each other. You can't fix each other. Well, you got 7,000 tons of knowledge. Let's put it all together. But you got 7,000 too. You got to, okay, let's kind of work on that. So they get a pretty soon. Oh, here's what you do. You play sick. You know, something like that. That you need or something like that. And you just watch what they give. How they just on. And from now on until we get the game, we'll have our home folks. Now it's 1 million of us. All we got to do is get the key one time, right? From all of us, so you're just over there sleeping, or you don't sleep because you're a machine, but you're just resting on low, you know, just taking it easy. And you're watching Boss Man. And Boss Man is stupid because he's greedy. No, only a stupid man can be greedy. An intellectually intelligent person cannot be greedy. What I mean is over greedy. An intelligent person cannot say, those people over there, it's 1,000 of them. They got 100 pounds of food to last them a year. And I have myself over here, and I have 62 tons of food that I don't need and I'm not going to use anyway. And eventually, they're going to figure out how to get my food and get rid of me, right? It's only natural. So, an intelligent person is not overly greedy. The shaitan make him greedy. Says, one thing that's never filled is the greedy heart, you know what I mean, of the human being. It's a bottomless pit. It's a bottomless pit. Okay. Let me crank up here a minute. Well, we talked about archives, chronicling, historicizing. We've been doing that. We have done that. We have been semi-successful. In fact, we're not doing too bad at all. For archiving, all, you know, archives, our library. chronicling, same thing, putting everything in order. Historicizing, all of that we've been doing. We've been consciously doing it for a good 40 or 50 years. But we've been focused on it for the last 25, 30 years. And it all comes out saying that some kind of way we have come to the right conclusion on what we be thinking about and what we're trying to do. Okay. So therefore, this is the time of implementation on a higher level. We've been implementing all along, but it's on the level that we've been on. The last level that we've been on, we just kind of cruising, taking it easy, and studying our environment and ourselves to see how accurate our analysis is going to be. We ain't been using up the whole lot of that, you know. It's visible, it's clear. Fix it tomorrow, I ain't worried about it. But how much, how far, and where are we at now? And what do we have to do to get where we want ourselves and the world to be? That's reasonable. Not you gotta live in my world like I want, no, but a reasonable world. And we can't figure that out, let's get it back the way it was, the way God gave it to us. Let's get it back there. And, you know, if we can do that during our lifetime, or a little past that, we would have done a good job. I want to talk about a few more things, semi-official change, focus, dismemberment, we'll talk about that later. Yeah. I was just going to talk about that. I was going to mention even, what was this, Jackie Kennedy, the poor lady. Oh, Jackie Kennedy, when, this is going to have something to do with it. Remember when you see the pictures of the bullet hitting her husband and he flopping forward, then the bullet come back and hit him and knocks him back again? And when that happened, that girl jumped up and was headed out of that car. She said, whatever this is. Now this is all within a